Welcome to Golf Talk with Tiff. Yes, that's me, Tiff, the lady golf teacher. What I will do here is build belief in you to accomplish your dreams for your golf. I'll be your mentor and give you the skills, strategies, and guidance to make it happen. Teed high, let it fly. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey there, Tiff, the lady golf teacher here, and welcome to this tip. I've been dying to share this with you for months and months and months. It has been a work in progress for me for many, many months that I've been working on developing for me, and a great discovery that I have really had really over the last 2 years more than anything. But it's been a work in progress, this one. It's been it has been very much a discovery time, and a way in which you would actually be playing the best golf of your life, I believe, if you can connect with what I'm sharing with you today. It will take a bit of time to do this. It will create some awareness to do this, but that's okay. You've got the rest of your golf career to really work on it, haven't you? So that's no problem. But I want you to be open to this, what I'm going to share with you, because some people think like when they play golf, it's just all about the golf and they've got to get the technique right and they've got to get the skill right. And yes, that's part of it for sure. But it's also your mental approach to how you make that happen. That's going to be either an asset for you or a detriment for you. And some people that I've worked with in lessons, I've found that unless they can really work on their mindset approach to golf, that's going to be a big area that holds them back. And then that's why those errors can actually creep into their golf when, things come up for them, the frustration, like, oh God, do I have to play golf again today? Like, I just can't bear it. I'm just playing so bad. Those types of things, when you've got that attitude towards your golf, you are going to stuff up, okay? Because you're already setting yourself up for disaster because of how you're thinking and feeling. Also, people that I've worked with over the time, some people just don't like to practice, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But if you can get really connected with what I'm going to share with you today, you might find that you don't have to practice as much, but there'll be still some form of practice that you'll have to do from a mind-body connection, because I find that a lot of people just don't feel anything when they hit shots. They've got no body awareness or anything. So if you can connect with that, that would be a big thing. But I'm going to show you and share with you how you can do that. Okay. So I've titled this episode, Feeling is the Secret. What does that mean? Feeling is the secret. There's lots of things in there. Yes, it can be an emotional connection as well, for sure, because it's all about feeling, right? But what I'm sharing with you today is it's awareness, and it's body awareness, it's mind awareness, it's knowing what to do, and it's feeling it as you do it. And this is what I was just talking about before. I find that some people that really want to come and learn golf, great, really good, really great. But they really, and even those that have been quite seasoned, come and have lessons with me. But unless you really start working on connecting, and being aware of what's going on mentally, and also being aware of what's going on physically, then we can get connections working much better. But if there's a discrepancy, especially in the mindset, where, a lot of, simple words, negative talk, is coming across, or I don't want to practice that, or why should I have to do that? That's not the thing that I really feel like doing today. Or, I don't really want to, spend hours and hours practicing. Why should I have to do that? Well, you don't have to, but it's the mental approach in how you're going to connect physically to make sure that mentally you're switched on into creating what you want to create and having that body awareness. Okay, really, really important. So it's knowing what to do and it's feeling it as you do it. So and this is where I believe, especially a lot of the work that I've been doing over the last couple of years on me, because I always test everything on me. Doesn't matter if it's food or exercises or technique or whatever. I always test things on me first before I think, oh yeah, I can share this. But this is where the power is in your golf. This is it. Is the mind awareness and the body awareness and how we're going to connect it through that feeling. That's the power, okay? This, and you're going to love this is where the consistency is. I am going to tell you it is definitely where the consistency is, and this is where you're going to perform your best golf. And this is how I'm performing my best golf. I'm playing the best golf I've ever played in my life, and I don't practice anywhere near what I used to. One is because over the COVID period, I really worked on modifying my swing into nice, simple technique so it's easily repeatable. It's not high maintenance, very low maintenance golf swing, easy to reproduce all the time. And then I've been working on really heavily getting the feeling of what it is I want to create in the shot. What is it feeling that I'm doing with my body so that I'm creating that? And I'll tell you, because I've been so heavily focused on that, that's where the magic has been. So much better. Even this time of me recording this is early 2023. So even up until the end of December 2022, best golf I've ever played in my life. Okay, and that's going to just continue to build because I now know I've tapped into what the secret is. So that's what I'm sharing with you today. So when you play your golf or when you compete in your sport, there is an expectation that you should be able to perform, isn't it? You have this pressure on yourself that you should be able to perform. And if you don't know how to perform, then how can you expect to perform? So I've got people that come to me again for lessons and to help them in their golf that have never played sport before, or have played limited amount of sport and have never performed or put themselves under that intense pressure in sport, yet they put this intense pressure to go out there and play comp, or even just playing holes, even just going out playing socially. They put this intense pressure on themselves to be able to perform really well. But how can you do that if you don't know how to do that? Okay, there is a system and a method that you want in place in order for that to happen, right? You just don't have the tools yet, that's all. So the thing that I want to get across to you right now is if you don't know how to perform, it doesn't just happen all of a sudden. There is a process involved to get there. And there's the process, part of the process is there's a momentum that has to be built to get there. So, like when you've played, a time you've come out on the golf course and everything's just flowed really easily. Maybe you haven't had that yet, but there are times that players have said to me, oh, like everything just worked, right? That's an area that we call, in sporting terms, we call you've been in the zone, right? You're in a flow state, as the psychologists would call it. But you've been in this flow. And when you've played golf in this state, like everything just feels like it just all comes together and it all just really happens really easily for you. It's incredible, right? I love it. I love that. And like I said, I've tapped into it, so I can do it a lot more often now. And it's like you can do no wrong. So there's a way that you can get into that zone more often. And that's why I'm telling you, feeling is the secret. And that's why I've titled this episode as Feeling is the Secret. Now, there is a process involved to feeling is the secret. And if you keep listening, I'll tell you how to do it. So, do you want to know? Because I bet you're going, Tiff, come on. If that's the secret to my consistency, I want to know it. Okay. I'm going to tell you. But it does require this from you. Okay? I have one requirement from you for this. So it requires you to learn how to focus. Because I find that's what most golfers don't do, is they don't actually know how to focus. They have a lack of focus. And so this is something that you have to be focused on, is learning how to focus. I have a book, by the way, on focus, how to reach your potential in sport, business and life. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff in there that will really help you on how to focus. But I want you to also understand that learning how to focus is a skill, just like learning a golf swing, just like learning a putting stroke, just like learning a chipping stroke, just like learning how to play out on the golf course, right? You got to know how to play out on the golf course as well, and how to manage yourself and so on. That's a skill as well. So it's not going to be as hard as you think, but it's going to require conscious awareness and you actually tuning into your shots better. Now, before I tell you how to do that, so you can play better in your golf, I have one question for you to ask. Okay, I'm going to ask you this one question. How well do you hit your shots? So each shot, I want you to rate out of 10, like your driver, your full swing. So that can be, you know, irons, fairway, woods, hybrids. Pitching, bunkers, chipping and putting. I want you to rate each category. I want you to rate each stroke. 10 being like 10 out of 10, you hit it awesome. Or 1 being like it's really crap and I've just, you know, I'm a beginner and I've just started. That's okay. You can put it like that too. Or anywhere in between. I want you to rate it. Okay. Now, once you've done that, then I want you to then tune into what I'm about to say, is that anything less than a 10, which is like 9 and below, you'll need to know how to hit the ball the way you want. So that'll mean the technique, how to get your technique right. Understand each part of your technique in your shots. And I mean really understand how to do it, because you need to have a good understanding how to make it work. So you need to really understand each component of your, you know, whatever that area in your game that you want to work on. You need to understand how to make it work. Then, once you understand how it works from a technical sense, then you'll have to practice it. Okay? So like I said, there's still going to be some practice involved. There's still going to be some things involved in there. But again, it's this awareness that I'm talking about. You need to know physically, technically, how to play that shot. Then you'll have to work on it, right? Practice it. Doesn't have to be a hard song. It's just being conscious slog. You just have to be consciously aware how to do it. And, you know, years ago I would have said to you, oh, look, you know, you got to hit thousands and thousands and thousands of golf balls to get this right, and spend many, many hours on the practice range or out on the golf course and get it right. Because that's what I did when I was first learning to play, and that's what I've always done with any other sport that I've ever done, is I've really focused heavily on the time and the effort put into practice. But these days I'm not going to say that. Right, because there's an easier way to do it, a quicker way to do it, but only if you do it the way that I suggest, because I've been able to tap into that. I believe that you can skip the endless hours of practice, but the focus has to be quality practice, right? Quality practice. And I'm going to emphasize that. Quality practice. Quality, quality practice, 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 okay? And it's the feeling, here we go, it's the feeling of the technique in the quality practice. You need to connect with what that feeling is like, what you need to physically do, what it needs to feel like physically in order for you to have that happen, okay? So the key point here is feeling the technique. It's not the end of what we've got to do, but feeling the technique. So that's the awareness of the technique, the awareness of the focus during the technique, the actual feeling of what the shot feels like as you're doing that, okay? That's what that means, all right? Okay, so now you know the secret to it. How can you do it? Well, let's test it out. I'm going to give you a challenge, and I want you to report back to me what you've discovered. So on your list of golf skills, I want you to pick one of the strokes, the techniques that you've scored somewhere around a 7 to 10 on. You thought I was going to say somewhere like a 2, right? Didn't you? No, not yet. We're not going to do that. What I want you to do is I want you to feel like this is going to also be achievable for you. Because what I find with people is they all get too caught up in what they do wrong, and they look at all the bad stuff versus the stuff that they actually do right. And I want you to look at, you know, part of your game that you're pretty confident and pretty competent with, okay? So what I want you to do is pick a stroke, the technique that you have a lot of confidence around, okay? And then what I want you to do is I want you to go and hit 20 to 40 balls with it. So it could be a driver, could be a hybrid, could be an iron, could be a pitch shot, could be a chip shot, whatever it is that you have a lot of confidence around. And I want you to go and hit somewhere between 20 and 40 balls with it. And I want you to take these questions with you, okay? Because I want you to be aware of what's going on here. So I want you to ask yourself these questions. What is it that you do to make that shot work? Okay? And the next question I want you to ask yourself is, what do you feel that you do? What is the feeling like when you play that shot? The next question I want you to ask yourself is, what do you do mentally, or what is your awareness around that makes that work so much better? Okay, what's the mental attitude, or what's the thought process that you go through in order for that to happen? And another question, 2 more for you to think about is, are you thinking about something specific in that stroke or skill that makes that happen? Or do you feel free and easy, or do you just feel blank? Right? What is it that makes it happen? Or is it because you feel so confident you know that everything's just going to work, whatever it is? And the last question is, are you feeling something specific when you do it? Right? What is that specific feeling that you're actually feeling when you're technically hitting that ball? Okay? So I'm just going to repeat these questions again because I want you to take note of this. All right? So the questions you want to ask is, what is it that I am doing that makes the shot work? What do I feel that I am doing in that shot? What do I do mentally? What is my awareness when I do that shot? What am I thinking about specifically when I do that shot or that stroke or that skill? Am I feeling something specific when I do it, and what is the feeling? Okay? I want you to really connect with that, because that's going to be something really important here that I want you to take away from what we're talking about. So there will be a feeling of something going on here, and there will also be a mental thing of something going on here. I want you to connect what those are, okay? Because what I'm doing here is I'm creating an awareness here for you to be actually aware of what you are feeling and what your mind is actually doing when you're executing the skill, okay? I want you to be really, really aware of that, okay? Now, what you will notice, this is an awareness thing. What you will notice is when you are really tuned in I mean by focused, right? Is that when you hit a good shot, good technique, you will feel a specific thing in it. and a specific mental awareness, a focus of some description that will make it work, right? So that's what happens when you are really tuned in. You'll feel something will feel easy, whatever that may be. You'll feel something very specific in it, technically, and you'll feel something very specific in it mentally, okay? Now, when you hit a bad shot, which means it's not as good as the good one, is it? If you're tuned into it, you will notice that the technique felt different. Even slightly, it felt different. There was something there that didn't work, that you weren't doing. You will feel it. And your mental focus will not be the same either. Okay, you may have tuned out. You may have, thought about something completely different. What you did in 1991, right? Something will just pop into your head randomly, right? So it'll make you aware. So now, if you can feel the difference between when you hit a shot, whether you're doing it well or whether you're not doing it well, you'll have made a connection with the feeling, okay? And that feeling is how you make it work. So it's a combination of the physical, the skill of what you're actually doing, and there'll be something specific in there. I always find with people that I work with, we focus on finding that one thing that resonates for them, that makes that shot work. And it'll also be a connection mentally with what's going on there. And that, my friend, that means that you're getting the secret when you are tuning in. Okay? So when you have that feeling, then your intention or your goal, I say intention, I like to set intention, set goals, right? We're setting goals for when we play. So your intention is to replicate each time you perform that skill. So if you know what the feeling is exactly of that shot, let's say you're just really confident with your driver, you know exactly what it needs to feel like, you know exactly what the rhythm needs to feel like, you know what a specific area in that swing you need to feel that you know that you're going to make really solid contact with. If you know what that is, then what you want to then do is you want to focus on replicating that exact feeling, okay? And then if you're tuned in and you can actually feel what's going on, that means that you're then focused in what's going on, and that's where your focus should then stay, okay? Connecting with that, all right? Now, there's a thing that I want to make you really aware of here is never, ever, 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 never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever focus on the result or the outcome of that result. Never, ever focus on where the ball's going. Ever. Never, ever. Okay? If you focus on the feeling, mentally and physically, and if you can do that, not only you will be more consistent, you will get into the zone more and more often. And that, my friend, my beautiful friend that you are listening to me today, that is where the secret is. Okay, focusing on the feeling, both physically and mentally, tuning into what's going on, getting in, that'll help you get into that zone, that'll help you get consistent. That is where the magic is. So remember, if you can do it, you can do it once, you can keep doing it, you just keep repeating it. And then you keep repeating it, and you keep repeating it, and you keep repeating that same feeling. But you've got to tune into it mentally, and you've got to tune into it physically, okay? And that is where the secret is. So I hope you really enjoyed today's episode. Love it if you could share with me what you like best about what you heard today. I'm so excited in sharing this with you. This has been, actually 2 years in the making really for me with regards to putting this together with a lot of exploration that I've been going through from a personal level and also from a sporting level. Really hope you benefit from this. And I'd love it if you could share with me what you like best about what you heard in this episode. I'd really appreciate it. So in saying that, I want you to tee it high, let it fly, and then I want you to dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams, create some magic, get that feeling. Now that you know that feeling is the secret, go for it. And I look forward to seeing you, hearing from you, talking to you in the future. Take care and bye for now.